Well, I hate to admit it, but modern day Disney is bringing this show to where it wants it to go, which is the fiery pits of identity politics. In the previous episode of The Mandalorian, I pointed out that Din was being dumbed down in favor of Bo-Katan. Little did I know that they will be much more brazen in this week's episode. But is anybody really surprised at this point? Watch out, Din. Looks like you're getting cooked at your own show. The episode begins with Grogu being trained to become a Mandalorian. And as anybody would expect, just when he's seemingly about to get defeated, he triumphs in his duel against his opponent, who would eventually be abducted by a flying creature and will require to be rescued, which makes up the central plot of this episode. Believe me when I say I wish I was making this up. Disney could not have been more generic and mundane with their writing. And guess who gets to lead the task force in the rescue mission? Yep, you guessed it. Who else but the strong and know-it-all Bo-Katan? Honestly, you expect me to believe that the one person who just recently stayed for a while in the Mandalorian Enclave knows the planet and its creatures much more than everyone else who has been living in it for their whole lifetime? Maybe, just maybe, it's a little bit of a stretch if I do say so. While Bo-Katan and the Mandalorians go on this wild goose chase, Grogu is left behind and suddenly recalls a segment of his past where he was protected by the Jedi from being abducted by the Empire. And that is basically it for him in this episode. The bulk of it was instead focused on our girl boss Bo-Katan, who somehow leads a group of clueless, all-male Mandalorians on how to navigate their own planet and track down a beast they have absolutely no idea in confronting. But somehow, Bo-Katan is fully aware of the creature because she is the girl boss. The most baffling detail about this episode was when the team set up camp in the evening to continue the rescue the following day. In it, she asks, how do the Mandalorians eat if they are prohibited from taking off their helmets? To my great surprise, and definitely not in a positive way, Din's response was to go to an area where nobody can see you and take off your helmet so you can eat. I was like, excuse me? After sending Din to Mandalore to bathe in the living waters to quote-unquote restore his status as a Mandalorian because he took off his helmet with intent, turns out it is simply okay to take it off as long as nobody sees you? I don't know, but this writing is getting extremely ridiculous and convoluted. And while all the male underling Mandalorians look for a place to take off their helmet, girl boss Bo-Katan gets to stay by the campfire as she's the leader, further excessively elevating her character. Okay, for clarification, while I have nothing against women taking the spotlight, this needs to be properly and adequately developed rather than simply inserting them into the story. This has been the trend for Disney shows of late, where the female characters do not undergo the hero's journey and simply be incredibly talented from the get-go. Hence, why they are getting so much backlash, and not because they are racist/sexist or whatever slander that is being thrown to critics nowadays. The following day, as they found the creature and was approaching its nest, one of the male Mandalorians, who is apparently the father of the child abducted by the creature, charges in irrationally, because of course, he is a male and must be clumsy and reckless. And only in the final moments of the rescue that Din takes the spotlight in rescuing the boy, once again taking his place as the sidekick rather than being the actual protagonist of his own show. By the looks of it, the title of this show does not pertain to him. I did not want to articulate it this way, but this episode could not have been more explicit. Even in the final scene, it is implied that Bo-Katan has the vision of the mythosaur, indicating that she's the chosen one, and shocker, will be the one leading all of the Mandalorians in future episodes. Well, Disney has done it. The only Star Wars show that was initially well received is heading towards a path that we can all see where it leads from 1,000 miles away, and I for one am really sick and tired of it. It is only going to get worse from here on out. What do you guys think of this latest episode of The Mandalorian? Sound off in the comments below. If you are still here, thank you for watching, and do subscribe if you have not already, as there's more content to come. Have a great day.